Hey guys, welcome back to the Knowledge is Strength series. Today we're going to talk about tendinitis, specifically what it is and what you can do to start fixing it. Tendinitis is often called an overuse injury. What it actually is typically inflammation of a tendon. A tendon is the connective tissue at the end of a muscle belly. So think about something like the bicep. Your bicep's muscle belly is right here. There's tendons on this side that attach to your arm and on this side that attach up to your shoulder. When you contract the muscle, the fibers in the belly pull together and they yank on the tendons, which actually move the bones. Each tendon and muscle in your body has a baseline threshold, a threshold that they can go to in terms of how much you can use that before it gets painful or irritated. That threshold has a lot of factors, but the number one factor is how strong that tendon is. If you've been training in the right ways, then that tendon's threshold is probably pretty high. On the flip side of that, if there's a muscle group that you haven't been training well, or maybe you've been neglecting in the gym, that threshold is probably lower than what it should be. And if you start doing a new activity that demands a lot on that muscle group, then you can exceed that threshold fairly easily, and that's when irritation can arise. For example, the rotator cuff is a very common place to get tendinitis. 4 small muscles that attach to your shoulder joint, and they're extremely important with a lot of shoulder activity, but it's often neglected in the gym. Now let's say you pick up slow pitch softball or golf or something that you haven't done in a very long time. All of a sudden, you are demanding a lot from that area. And if you keep spending time up there, something's gonna give and you're gonna start to get pain. Here's the other tricky side of this. If you spend a lot of time up here in that pain zone, that threshold drops even more. And you think to yourself, well, I'll just stop doing that and it'll go away. So you go back to whatever your regular baseline was. But because you spent a lot of time up in that pain zone and your threshold dropped, now your regular baseline activity is still above that tendon's threshold for pain. So even this at that level is going to create pain. Here's where we talk about how to fix it. The number one thing you need to do first is ease off of a lot of stuff. You have to give that area a break. And I'm talking even more than what you were doing before. You need a solid week to 2 weeks, even sometimes 3 to 4 weeks. We have to get you out of that pain cycle, that inflammation cycle. But we can't stay down here forever because that threshold won't rise on its own, even if you do get out of pain. Because here's the thing, in order to get that pain threshold back up to its normal and even higher, so then you can start doing those activities you wanted to in the first place, you have to toe the line. What I mean by that is you have to find activities that take you right up to that threshold of pain and do exercises there in very structured ways, and slowly that will increase that threshold. Here's a quick example for rotator cuff tendinitis. 3 days a week, you would go to the gym and spend 30 minutes to 45 minutes specifically targeting the rotator cuff right near that pain threshold, so it's not going to be that comfortable. I usually tell people they can be anywhere from a 3 to 5 out of pain as long as that pain comes back down within a 24-hour period. And I would give yourself a couple days rest between each of those days in the gym in these early stages. Over time, you'll notice those activities that you're doing aren't going to be painful anymore, so then you can push it a little bit up to the new pain threshold zone. Hang out there for a week or 2 doing exercises. That increases. You repeat this cycle until you get to a point where you have no pain at all doing those exercises. Once you hit that point, you know that your tendon is strong and good to go, and you can ease into those throwing, golfing, whatever types of activities you were doing before. What you've probably noticed is that this takes time. Tendinitis is a tricky thing, and it's not one of those things that we can fix in a couple weeks. It's going to take a while. You have to trust yourself and trust the process as you're doing it. If you're dealing with tendinitis, I would recommend going to a physical therapist who has worked with these types of patients, so as you have questions, which you will, they'll be able to answer them for you. Okay, that's it for today. That's a heavy subject. It can be a lot to digest, so if you need to, you can watch that again. I hope that graph helped you visualize it a little bit better and gives you a plan to start moving forward to fix your pain. If you want more content like this, I'll post it over here. I'll see you guys over there.